Hello and welcome to Loki's first foray into homebrew. I thought I'd document my exploits in home brewing because I had a bit of birthday money and decided to spend it ridiculously on home brewing kit. And instead of going the little way and getting a homebrew kit and starting off small, I thought, fuck it, go big or go home. So I have purchased, it's finally arrived, a beer mash tun for doing all of the early bits, making the wort and all that sort of stuff. And then I've got some other bits which I'm going to show you in a second. But I thought I would document the unboxing of the big fun kit to start with. I still haven't got my ingredients yet, they're still waiting to come. So we'll do the brew day for when they come of my first beer. But then also I'm going to convert the second floor of my garage, which is basically just a loft, into my home brew, which is going to be House of Pink Beers, which you abbreviate to hop beers. Yeah, you see what I did there? So we're going to have House of Pink Beers in the second floor of my garage. So I'll show converting that, because at the minute it's not a very pleasant place to be. It's the roof used to leak before I came and fixed it, and so there's a bit of mould to sort out, and it needs to be refloored, and we'll put a sink up there to sort everything out. So yeah, let's crack on, shall we? Yes, the cat wants to get into the box, of course. You can have it in a minute. Right then, so this is 309 piece of kit from Expondo, and it's where you extract all the nice proteins and sugars from the wheat to give it to the yeast to digest and start making into beer. So we have some filtering stands, so they get assembled apart from each other, and the wheat goes in there. Bits for the filter, because it's got a pump which will circulate the water. Bits for the top of the pipe, so that when the water's circulating, the wheat doesn't go into the pump. A nice big lid. Instruction manual. Nah. Fun times. What have we got? So this is the cylinder where the yeast goes in. So that sits inside the water with those filters holding the with those filters holding the wheat, which the water can then circulate around it and get nice and roasty, toasty. And there we have the actual unit. Skadoosh! Oh, what's that one? I'm breaking it already. That's presumably for the wire. That there. Okay, so this is 2,500 watts of heating goodness. We've got the control bit here, where we can control temp and whatnot. We can set programs so if we've got different stages of the brew to add different hops, we can program it so that it does that and then it automatically heats up or cools down afterwards. We're going to start off with a relatively simple brew. I've gone relatively simple for the first one. I'm not doing any dry hopping or anything like that for the first brew, which will be, I think we'll call it Loki's spell, because, you know, Loki's doesn't know how to spell. We've got a tap. I'm not really sure what we'll use the tap for, to be brutally honest. Not many seem to use it. It's got a lock on it as well, and you can't see all of that, can you? So there's a tap. Then this bit, presumably up here I've got the rest of my pump unit. Come on then, cat, off you go. So the pump will circulate the water as the wheat is heating and cooking. This pump circulates the water from the bottom all the way over the top, back over the wheaty goodness, to make sure that many of those sugars and proteins are taken from it to go nom 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 for the yeast. Right, there we go. So hopefully there's another hose for me to use somewhere, because I need a bit more hosing. But yeah, so this bit, nice and easy, scooch in there. That's pretty good actually. Although That's how it does it. Although it's pretty bloody hard to get in. Woo! We'll work on that later. Yeah. Then this is the handle for this. This will sit in here, like so. Put that way. With confidence, he says that. Like so. This changes height depending on how much grain you're using. For the flow, you can change it so that you have a lot of grain, a little bit of grain, a medium amount of grain. And this was one of the fallbacks, so I was looking at all the different kits, and one of the fallbacks of this one was that's not height adjustable, but this was £309. The next one up, which is basically exactly the same as this, but the control unit was a bit different. And that was made by, I think we begin with K, and that was 400 and something. And then the Grain Father, which is the one that everyone says is great, from Kiwi Land, that was 600. That was 675, and I had a very strict budget on all birthday and Christmas monies from the last wee while, and that strict budget was pretty much pushed to the max to get all of this stuff. So there was no going beyond what I had already got on that front. So what we'll do is we'll take this out. Put that in there. And then I will show you all the other kit that we have. You can go in there, put all the mini bits so that the cat doesn't eat them. Wonder what they're for. Who knows? Put you all in there with you. Killian will no doubt be waking up soon, and he will try and get into all of this. So put all of that together. Right then, what else have we got to show you? Oh, knife gone. We have got, you have to bear with me on the GoPro, we have a bottling tube, a fermenter for 25 litres, so that's where we're going to put all the wort. Once it's cooled down, we're going to put it in there with the yeast, and it's going to get all alcoholic and stuff. We've got a hydrometer so that we can figure out what alcohol content we've got. Some airlocks which go in the top of there, because as the yeast is working its magic, it releases gases, and we need to let them to come out of this vessel, but we don't want any oxygen getting in, because oxygen carries bacteria and whatnot, or there is in the air, and we don't want them getting into our beer. Tasty, tasty beer. Star sand, because 80% of brewing is cleaning. Not done any cleaning yet, but we will do. A hop spider. So I looked into whether to get a hop spider or not. There were positives and negatives, and with the way that this thing circulates the water through, I decided that a hop spider would actually be a good idea. Probably not for the purists. Then we have got a wort immersion cooler, because the quicker that you can cool down your wort, the less likely it is to get contaminated. So once we've done our boil and got all the proteins and everything out of the wort and before we can put it into the fermenter, we let it cool down. So that does that for us. Bottle capper, because we need to store the beer afterwards, and we're going to do largely in bottles, but also some 5 litre easy kegs. And then a bottle stand, so that when I'm cleaning the bottles, we've got somewhere for them to dry, because bear in mind I'm going to be in the top of a garage, and there's not going to be the draining boards and whatnot that I could use inside. And that's for actually cleaning the inside of the bottles, because we need to make sure everything is as clean as it possibly can be. I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So next will be arrival of ingredients with some easy cakes, and then brew day. So the next video will be brew day. See you all anon.